Okay, if I fumble over this intro one last time. Okay, alright, so welcome back to the channel, guys. It is your boy Zion, and I am here at X Designer Breeds, where we strive to educate you, the viewer, on everything fur babies from puppy to adulthood. Finally, I was able to get that intro up. Jesus! It has been a while, but I'm here. Okay, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, like this video, and comment down below if you like this topic. I do dabble from time to time, going back between talking to you, the viewer, as a customer, or you, the viewer, as a dog breeder. And over the past few months, I've been getting a lot of questions from potential dog breeders or new dog breeders or even existing dog breeders about dog breeding. So for instance, the breeds that they're doing, toy poodles, whether it be multi-poos and so forth. So I guess my channel is just going to be talking to dog breeders as well as customers, because obviously you guys are more important, right? Alright, so you saw the title of this video, and the reason why I'm making it is because I got a question maybe a couple of weeks ago about stud dog. Someone owns a stud dog, well, someone owns a male dog, and they're considering entering the dog breeding community or career path as having a stud around, and they wanted to know the things to do as to prepare their dog to become a stud. Because a dog is not a stud until they're proven, right? So let's get into it. So I wrote some notes here, and this is what I would do personally if I had a male dog that I potentially wanted to introduce into my program as a stud, or if I had a male dog that I want to stud out, right? All right, so the first thing that I would do is I would get the dog DNA and health tested. Meaning that I should be able to identify my dog, so to speak. So I should know exactly the profile as to what they are. And I've bought dogs or supposedly purebred dogs in the past before, and it turns out that they weren't purebred. So that is something that you want to confirm right off the bat. You can't just buy the dog from a breeder and just expect it to be what they say that they are, right? So I would just get the dog DNA and health tested, and you can do this through a number of companies. There are several companies out there that does this type of testing, but one of the most reputable ones I would say is Embark. Not really reputable, but it's one that most dog breeders use to date. So I get all of my dogs tested through Embark. So usually the results, they will take at least 4 weeks maybe to come back, and that way you'll know the genetic profile of your dog in terms of what breed they are, what breed percentages that make up your dog, and also the traits, meaning their genetic makeup, which is most important too, because knowing these traits, you will know exactly what female to breed your dog to, or those who have their bitches that are looking for studs, you can show them the traits of your dog, and then they will decide if those traits match up to what they want in their female, or to breed with their female. So that's the first thing that I would do, because that's one of the most important steps, if not the most important step to take there. Then if your dog is not registered, you're going to make sure that your dog is registered with a kennel club. Now, this is not mandatory, but it is highly recommended. Most times, especially me, if I'm planning on breeding one of my female dogs, I ensure that the male that I'm breeding her with is registered with the registry that I'm breeding my females with. And why is that important? For one, most importantly, you want to ensure that you're continuing a line, meaning that they're your pedigree. You want to continue their pedigree, meaning that your dog has a generation back in behind them. And if not, you want to start a generation that's a part of the whole breeding world, right? So you want to start a generation back in behind them. So if not, just go ahead and register your dog. So yes, it is possible to register your dog that has no papers whatsoever, or that has, you don't know the status of their parents in terms of if they have papers or not. So I do have a video on that. You can check that out here. after this video, right, on how to register your dog without papers. All right, so that would be the second thing that I do to go ahead and register my stud. And it is always best to either like dual register your dog. So even if your dog is already registered, say for instance with AKC or CKC, then it's best to get them dual registered. All my AKC dogs are CKC registered because those are the two registries that I dabble in, so to speak. So go ahead and get your dog registered if they're not registered, and if they're AKC registered, I would suggest getting them dual registered with CKC, because a lot of breeders, they do have, if not AKC, then CKC dogs. I have come across other registries, say for instance ACA, UKC is another good registry as well, but I wouldn't recommend any of the others apart from AKC, UKC, and also CKC. The third thing that I would do is I would prove him if he's not already proven. Proving a stud or proving a dog to become a stud is when you ensure that they are they're fertile. That is what I mean when I say proving your dog, meaning that you're making sure that they're fertile and they're able to produce. The age at which you prove your dog would really depend on you. Most male dogs, they become fertile around the age of 6 to 7 months. I wouldn't prove my dog, however, until they're between the ages of maybe 9 months to over a year. You want to ensure that they're fully developed in that capacity before you go ahead and breed them to a bitch. How do you prove your dog? Okay, so if you have an internal female, you can go ahead and prove him that way. That's the easiest way to do it. Or if you don't have a female around that you want to breed to, what you'd want to do is to maybe talk to a friend or family that wants to breed their female. Just go ahead and do it that way. That's the easiest route. Or if not, then you can find a breeder that are looking for the traits in your dog and want to breed them with, and then you guys could work out something that's mutually benefiting for you guys, because obviously you can't really charge as much for your stud because he's not proven. Or say for instance you could try to prove him with a breeder, and once he's proven, then maybe you could take a puppy back from that litter or something. You can work something out with the breeder if your dog is not proven. So that's the next step that I would go there. And then once your dog is proven, then you are good to go. Once your dog is proven, then you're just going to start making a contract, which is very important, a stud contract. So that way you know exactly what comes out of each breeding that you do with him. Either it is a flat fee that you will charge, or is it a puppy back from a breeding that you're going to take back. And this really depends on you. Most people, they do either or. If they like something within a female and they see the potential of what that litter could be, you could take a pup back from that litter, or you could work out a monetary fee for each stud service that you do. I get the question often, how much should you charge? And that's something that I have been placed in a boat too. Like, how much would I be able to charge in terms of a stud fee? And that depends on you as the individual who owns the stud, and also the type of stud that you have. Say for instance, that's the reason why I was saying that you should register him before going ahead and studying him out, because a registered stud would worth more, right? Obviously. And a stud that has already been DNA and health tested would be worth more as well. So these are, aspects that you could, put into your stud fee, or to consider when creating your stud fee. And it depends on your breed as well. Say for instance, toy poodles, stud fees, they vary. If you have a champion sire, meaning that the dog has participated in a lot of shows and won these awards and stuff like that, then those stud fees can actually definitely stack up. But if you just have like a pet and you want to ensure that he starts a breeding career, then it may not be as expensive, but it is substantial. Because once you have a male dog that's a stud, you can stud him out potentially every day. Well, you wouldn't want to do that, but you could stud him out every day, because it's not like a female that goes into heat every 6 months. A stud dog, they're always ready, right? So you could stud him out every other day or every 3 days. Then you're going to want to do flyers and do ads, just to advertise your service or advertise your dog as a stud. And then something else that's very important too is you're going to want to learn how to do AIs. I think that's going to be like the last step, because once you have a stud, what if your dog is not able to tie naturally with a bitch, right? You're gonna want to make sure that you know how to do AI, so that in the event that someone wants to breed with your dog, then if they're unable to tie naturally, then you're able to offer AI services. So those are the steps that I would take personally if I had a dog that I want to be a stud for a program, for a breeding program. So I do have a dog. I do have 2 dogs basically. They're puppies right now, but I intend to stud them out. You have met Vision. He is my Maltese. He's 3.5 pounds. He's gonna be a year old next month. And so these are gonna be some of the steps that I implement in terms of proving him and making him a stud for my program in the future. So yeah, so if you guys have a dog that you want to stud, I hope this video helps. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.